Are you thinking, I want to go and see something on the West End, but I don't know what to see? Keep watching, because in this video, I will be telling you about 5 must-see shows on the West End right now. Hey, my name is Caleb Mitchell, and welcome to Theatre Jabber, the ultimate guide to London's West End. Okay, when you type West End shows into Google, there are a ton of results, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. What should you see? What shouldn't you see? How do I know if it's going to be any good? What's a fair price for tickets? What am I going to do? Well, don't worry. Help is at hand. This video, because in this video, I will be telling you everything you need to know to make the best decision for you, whether it's your first or your 31st visit to the West End. Okay, I want to hear from you guys. If you've already been to the West End a few times, or even just once, do you agree with my top 5? You should. Write them down in the comments below. And please remember to click subscribe and the bell so you don't miss any videos. Honestly guys, it makes such a big difference to me and to our channel, so thank you. And make sure you watch to the end, because I will be telling you about what I consider the best place, from my experience, honestly, best place to get tickets for the West End. Coming in at number 5, we have Wicked. This show is set in the land of Oz. You know, the place Dorothy's from. And it tells the previously untold story of Elphaba and how she eventually becomes known as the Wicked Witch of the West. Wicked has been running on the West End since 2006 and has already become the 3rd highest grossing musical of all time. It's popular. Popular. I mean, I think you should go and see it just for Elphaba's song, Defying Gravity. If you only go for that, it's totally worth it. Now, of course, the story is really interesting, it's very well told, and the performances are really engaging, and it's all very enjoyable, etc, etc, etc. But Wicked as a musical, for me, really, is just pure box office. Lights, pyrotechnics, incredible costumes, people flying all over the place, and some absolutely epic songs. What's not to like? I think if you went to the West End and you didn't ever see The Lion King, I might think you were crazy. Sorry, bit rude. Now, I can't imagine many of you don't know the story, but in case you don't, The Lion King is a story all about a young lion cub called Simba, who is tricked into thinking that he has somehow caused his father's death by his scheming evil uncle, Scar. I mean, with a name like that, guaranteed to be evil. Simba runs away, but eventually he has to decide whether he's going to fight Scar for his rightful place as King of Pride Rock. Lion King is the very definition of a smash hit. It's been seen by over 100 million people worldwide. Not the film, the stage show. 100 million! And did you know that the puppets alone took 37,000 hours to create? That's over 4 years. The Lion King was probably one of my favourite Disney films growing up, and I used to love watching it on video. Okay, I'm old. And sometimes the stage musical versions of these films don't quite stack up to the originals, but you'll be pleased to know that this one definitely does. As a spectacle, I just don't think there's anything that even comes close. The puppets and the costumes and the puppets and the staging and the puppets, they're just incredible. Oh, and Timon and Pumbaa, they're good. If I had one criticism, and I think criticism is a good thing, it would be that I think The Lion King is too expensive. Tickets to the stalls start at about £70, £75, which I just think is way too much. But if you don't mind sitting up in the circle, which is what I did, you know, the balcony, then you can find tickets for around £20, £25 if you shop around. Hakuna Matata. In at number 3 is Les Miserables. Who doesn't like a bit of Les Mis? That's what I want to know. Actually, my university lecturer hated it. Really hated it. But anyway, I love it, and I'm sure you do too. It's based on the novel by Victor Hugo, and it tells the story of Jean Valjean, a former convict who skips parole to create a new life for himself. Eventually, he agrees to care for the orphan child of a former factory employee, but all the while, he is being hunted by the unrelenting, majestic Inspector Javert. Les Mis is officially the longest-running West End musical of all time, with over 13,000 performances. But when it opened on the West End, critics initially dubbed it The Glums and a load of sentimental old tosh. Bet they're eating their words now. I love this show. There are so many reasons why you should see this. The story, the characters, but let's talk about the music. The music! Gosh, that soundtrack. I honestly think I've probably listened to every song over 100 times. Probably more. But I still get the tingles when the overture starts. And the staged concert version has just opened. With Michael Ball, Matt Lucas and Carrie Hope Fletcher. I mean, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Hamilton is at number 2.
I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. I'm laughing in the face of casualties and sorrow. For the first time, I'm thinking past tomorrow.
In it, we follow the life of Alexander Hamilton, one of America's founding fathers, though sort of forgotten, and his journey from poverty to the corridors of power, all against the backdrop of the American War of Independence against the British. Awkward. Hamilton was nominated for a record-breaking 16 Tony Awards following its Broadway debut. But writer Lin-Manuel Miranda has since said that he initially planned to release it as an album first. How plans change. Everyone talks about the music, and rightly so. There's rap and hip-hop, and musically it's so different to the kind of music you might expect in a traditional West End show. But I think the reason everyone should see Hamilton, and part of what makes it such a good show, is that it teaches us about a period of history which I know very little about, because I'm British. Although it's not completely historically accurate, I mean, what show is? You should definitely see it. Finally, at number 1, we have Matilda. The story of a girl who discovers that she has magical powers and decides to use them to fight back against her neglectful parents, and in particular, her evil school headmistress, Mrs. Trunchbull. The musical is based on the film, which was based on the book by Roald Dahl. And did you know that the blackboard used in the production travels over 15 miles throughout the course of the year? Okay, I feel like there might well be people throwing things at their screen right now. But let me tell you why I think this show deserves to be number 1. The first thing is, I feel like it's often overshadowed by the big hitters, the Les Mis, the Wickeds, the Lion Kings of this world. And that kind of makes me like it more. Maybe I just like underdogs. And I love everything about this musical. Tim Rice's music is beautiful. The staging is innovative. And the ensemble, admittedly played by some children and lots of 22-year-olds, is fantastic. But I think there are 2 reasons why I should see this. Firstly, the story. Sometimes musicals can be a bit, flashy and showy and explosion-y, and they sometimes forget that the reason we came to see a show is because we wanted them to tell us a great story. Matilda doesn't forget this. Matilda teaches us that even though you may be considered small or insignificant, you can achieve amazing things. And the second reason you should go, Mrs. Trunchbull. Honestly, she is great. Now, the part is always played by some huge male actor and is always hilarious. In fact, I'd go again just to see him. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, Caleb, but what about the tickets? Don't worry, I've got everything you need to know. I would highly recommend a website called Todaytix. It also comes as an app on your phone, and it's a website that I've actually used quite a few times myself, and I really would recommend it as a good first place to look for West End shows. It's cheap, it's really easy to use, and best of all, no booking fees. No booking fees! If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and a subscribe. It really helps. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.